Lights out and away we go as Grimes seems to get the better of the start of the two of himself and Fency. Nico closely following behind in P3 as Alfie's dropping to 5th. Zenko getting up into 4th. No safety car yet off the restart. What a shock. Already there is everybody moving around left, right and centre. Already Kegis dropping 15 positions, 16 positions. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. He's last. What is going on with Kegis? Oh, he might not be here. He might have ghosted out. He might have ghosted out. Oh, so unfortunate for himself. We've got 27 laps of racing today. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. Everybody's still closely behind. We have a Alpine facing the wrong ways. Hamish just dropped to 20th. He qualified 8th. And he's down into 20th. Grimes P1, Fency close behind in P2, and Nico in 3rd. I think pretty much everybody has gained a position because of Kegis, obviously barring Grimes and Fency as they started ahead of him. I'm not quite certain what's happened to Kegis. By the way, regardless, we do still have 20 racers as we approach the end of lap 1 as Fency is looking to go around the outside of Grimes at 130R. He gets the move done. Can he make it stick? He gets good exit, so does Grimes. How much battery do they have to play with? It's about even. It's about even, and Fency has taken the lead of this Grand Prix. He wanted pole position, he didn't get it. Grimes outshone him. And he said, thank you very much. You left the door open. I'm going to sneak my car inside, and I'm going to take first place. Fency, of course, last week having issues, connectivity issues. He was running in 3rd, but he had an issue. He disconnected and he dropped all the way to the back of the grid, and then he managed to work his way back up to 4th in the end. But this week there appears to be no connectivity issues. I think this is going to be our front fighting for today's session. Fency, Grimes, Nico staying not that far behind them. He'll look to get himself involved as well, as we do have a little bit of a train for him with Nico in 3rd, Zeno 4th, slightly falling off pace, Alfie just behind him. Aloe in 6th, he's improved 4 positions since the start, and so is Driv. Well, he's improved 5 positions. So it's currently the Ferraris running in position 6 and position 7. Zuna up into 8th, Install in 9th. Zenko rounding out the top 10, our current championship leader. He qualified 14th, he's in 10th, plenty of time to make some overtakes, gain some positions, get loads of points. And we already have our first penalty of the session with Chunks getting a 3-second time penalty. Cal's in 11th, has fallen off the back of the pack, and he has a train of his own, sort of a mini train, with Chunks behind him in 12th, Curris in 13th. Alfie in 14th. Let's stay on board here a little bit with Alfie for a minute. Now, of course, for those who aren't aware, the LBR has changed this season. It's the top 15 drivers get points. They all get points. As for some reason, Grimes has dropped to 9th. What on earth has happened? Grimes was contesting for the lead, and now he finds himself in 9th. I'm not quite certain what's going on here. We might have to get some VAR on this one in a little while, but as it stands, Fency's leading this race, and Nico's in 2nd. Cam Dog 15th, he's falling off the back, and it looks like Scott's about to get the move done on Cam. He just about does. He just about does, but Cam does have more ERS to play with, so on this back stretch here, as we go through Spoon Curve, I think Cam might have something to say about this. Yeah, look at the difference in raw power. He's already alongside him as we're on the approach down to 130R. He gets the job done just about, does he? No! Scott having to take evasive action. He goes off track. Nico setting the fastest lap of the race. There is contact between Cam and Scott. Cam will hold on to his position. DZ 17th just behind him, benefiting from the fighting between the two drivers. Approaching turn 1. as we are up to the snake. DZ, unfortunately, he's having a tough time. He's having a tough time getting used to these 26 cars, but he is trying, he is improving week by week. As I did just see a hint of blue in the sky there, so it looks like we are going to stick to a dry race, but who knows? Who knows? We are 4 laps into this race. We're on board with Ixo. He's chilling, he's doing his own thing. I think at this point he would quite like a safety car. I don't think the hards have done him and himself any favours. So he'll probably be praying for a safety car. Kegis, he's still not here. I'm not quite certain what happened to him. I think he must have disconnected, unfortunately. And then Hamish in 20th. I think he had a bit of a spin or he had contact with someone. I'm not too certain. He finds himself last, although he has pitted. So alternate strategy coming into play for Hamish. Qualified 8th, so he's got the pace. Nico going fastest again. As Driv makes the pit. I think those softs are starting to come to their shelf life by the looks of things. We will see what happens with Hamish as Alfie and Zen are getting into it. Oh, I think Alfie just shut the door there on Install as so much is going on. Install coming up the inside of everybody's ghosting. I'm not quite certain why, and Zeno has binned it. No, that's so unfortunate. I'm a little bit inclined to believe there was a little bit of naughty closing the door there from Alfie. We will see. Grimes finding himself back up into 7th. Although he did slow down a little bit and let someone back past him. Cal's in 6th. The man who came in as a reserve, he is one of the stewards, but we got him to fill out a position today. And he's come in as a reserve. Qualified 11th, not a bad outing for himself, considering he had no practice. Finds himself 7th. Grimes, though, just behind him. Is he looking to throw down the hammer? Not quite. Oh, contact there into the final chicane. Grimes losing out. Side by side going into the first corner. Cal's very slow. That light blinking at the back is a warm welcome to anybody who has a lot more ERS. Let's have a little look further back. This train is forming now. Chunk's caught up to the back end of this train. As up front, Fancy leading this race by 1.8 seconds from Nico, and Nico's teammate, our darling, our sweetheart, has rounded out the podium spots for now. Of course, we're only 6 laps into this 27-lap race. As I believe somebody has disconnected, I will just quickly invite them back in. I hate to do this, I do apologise. I will try and get back to the action as quick as possible. There we go. We are on board with Alfie. Lap 6 of 27. I'm not quite certain what the pit stop strategies are going to be. Do they maybe go long on these mediums, stretch them out long enough to be able to just then move to the hards? Or is anybody doing 2-stop strategies? Obviously people like Hamish pitting very early. He got unfortunately an early spin. His Install's now ghosting. I think there might have been some contact into turn 1 there. Grimes improving to 7th. Gursin and Alfie getting into it. Stay on board here, there's a little bit of action going on just ahead. Of course, him finding himself up to 10th, improved by 7 positions. Absolutely smashing it. And like last week, I've got to say it again. He's doing it again. A bad qualifying and a good race so far. Zenko, our championship leader, who was a reserve last week, has now joined the grid full-time for Aston Martin. We've had a driver change. Yellow flag sector 2. He has come into the league permanently for Aston Martin. So we will see him a lot more every single week. As Grimes just behind him, he can smell blood. I don't think the mediums are doing well for people. I'd like to see what sort of percent the tyres are on. As Zenko will come into the pits, he will get rid of those softs that he's been running on. Like I said, I think I might have said mediums, but I mean the softs just aren't working for people, I don't think. We had Drove pitting on lap 5, Hamish pitted even earlier. I think that was because he spanned, so he wanted to change up his strategy. Grimes in a bit of no man's land. Although this could work out perfect for him throughout the entirety of this portion of the race. He can just find himself in his own air, in his own space, just getting on with things, getting his head down. You know, he's already closed the gap by 3 attempts to install just up ahead. There's Alfie and Cal's getting into it. 2 of our stewards. This will be awkward if there's an incident between the 2 of them. Neither of them will be able to comment on it. Let's see what our stewards have got in store for us as we go through Spoon Curve for the 8th time of the Suzuka Grand Prix. We're going down the back straight, approaching 130R. I have it on good authority that apparently the medium runners are looking around 24% wear currently on the on the end of lap 8. We can start to see some people diving in over the next few laps. 12 laps on the mediums, 15s on the hards, perhaps. As Cowles looks to go up the inside of Alfie. Alfie gives him the space and the respect. Although I don't think he'll let up that easily. Round snake we go. Cowles gets the job done. Nicely done. Grimes in 3rd. What has happened here? Alfie's dropped to 4th with Allo just overtaking him. We find ourselves lap 6. Fancy, he's storming this. He's absolutely storming this. Got a 6-second lead over Nico in P2. Of course, there was some bumping and whatnot. But that's the LBL for you. You never expected truly clean racing, did you? So we'll go through the order now, seeing as things are starting to calm themselves down. Everybody's now into their groove. We're on lap 10 of the Suzuka Grand Prix, and Fancy finding himself in the lead of this Grand Prix with Nico 6.6 seconds behind him. Allo in 3rd, improving by 7 positions from his quali spot. Grimes back up into 4th. Now, he did drop down from pole. Fancy overtook him, and then there was a bit of an issue. We were on board with someone else, and Grimes drops to about 9th. I'm not quite certain. But he now finds himself back in 4th. It's a Williams 4-5 with Alfie running in the other Williams as a reserve. And Cowles also as a reserve coming in to help out with the numbers. He is in 6th in that RB. Zeno, we're not making this mistake anymore. Zeno in P7. Scott has improved to P8. He qualified 16th. Not a very great quali, but well into the points paying positions. Driven 9th, not far behind him. We've installed, continuing this train as Alfie, who has just pitted, he's off the trail of this train. However, with those fresh tyres, I think he'll make light work of it. DZ in P12 yet to pit, one of the hard runners who started on the hards. Zuna in 13th, unfortunately had a bit of a disconnection. He was running around 8th, disconnected, but finds himself 13th. Zenko, our championship leader, in 14th. He's now a full-time driver on the grid. Chunks in 15th, the last of the points paying positions. No ERS, needs to work on that management side of it. Same with Vixo here in 16th. Round the final corner we go. Ooh, 3-second time penalty. We saw it live. We saw it live for Vixo. Currison's in 17th. I'm not quite certain what happened to him. He was up to 10th at one point. Jam Dog's in 18th. He might have pitted. Hamish in 19th. I think he's just hoping for a safety car. Something unfortunate happened for him. We will see after this race what exactly it was. Yeah, we're on lap 11. And Kegis in last place, who unfortunately disconnected just before the race started and has not raced at all. Very unfortunate outing from Mr. Kegis, considering he was quite high up in the championship so far, and I was expecting him to do very well today. He qualified 3rd, but unfortunate. If he does join back, I will invite him. Well, if he comes back, I will invite him. But yeah, for those on YouTube who are watching this video, I do a live stream this video with live commentary on the broadcast over at twitch.tv/Lord Tonight. You can come over and get yourself involved. It'd be nice to see you there. So you can see the action unfold live and direct instead of having to wait a few days for the video to go up. Because I'm too lazy to upload it straight away, you see. Approaching the halfway marker of this race, and Fancy now building up a gap of 8.3 seconds. There's not that much to report on at the minute. Everybody's just sort of doing their own thing, really. Cows and Alfie are still... I think this is where the racing is at the moment. We'll stay on board with these for a moment. Nice control on the exit of the hairpin. Make our approach down Spoon. We'll have more battery as we exit Spoon is the question. Oh, Alfie's showing the door a little bit there. There's a tiny bit less ERS to play with. As Fancy, our race leader, is coming into the pits. Cal's opting to save battery instead of use it. Perhaps thought he wouldn't get the move done. Maybe wants to do it on the main straight instead. On the exit, 70% ERS. He has the boost. I think maybe Alfie and Cows are just sort of playing their own thing. Will Fancy come out in front of Cows? Cows has to make evasive maneuvers. Fancy in between the two. Now, this could really slow him down, which will play into Nico's favour. Unless Fancy can get out in front of Alfie as quick as possible, he is going to lose quite a lot of time. Oh, and even more so, the tyres aren't up to temperature just yet. Small micro spins like that, you know, catching the back end, they're not going to be doing you any favours. He just about gets in front. I believe Alfie yielded there. Although he fancies it, he's going to let Fancy go. Fancy electing for the hards. making that gamble that there won't be a safety car before the end of the race. I sure hope so. There's Hamish and Scott are getting into it. This is some lovely racing between the two. I love this wide angle of spoon. Wide angle of spoon. Down the back stretch. Grimes going fastest on them hards. They are starting to warm up. They are getting lightning. They are getting lightning quick. Sorry if you heard any interference in the background there, my cat's going on about something. Very unprofessional of myself. As Hamish managed to get the job done there on Scott. And is Scott dispatched. And now Hamish, having made that early spin, or contact, we don't know just yet, now finds himself just outside the points. Hot on Cam's heels. What has he got? He's on 10 lap old mediums. Going up the inside of Cam. Cam does leave him the space. And on the exit though, they are as they were when they entered it. As there seems to be contact here between Scott and Cam. Cam's AI driver very unhappy with something right here. Once again, as I was saying earlier on, DZ, throughout all of this madness, is managing to stay with this small little train. Due to them fighting. More contact again between the two of them. Scott leaves Cam the space on the inside. Fancy on two lap old hards. Alfie and Cows in second and third respectively, both yet to pit. I think it's themselves and Zuna who are the only ones who haven't pitted this race. Yet differently to Alfie and Cows, Zuna's on the mediums. So unless he's thinking of going a long way and then going on the softs, which would really be a detriment to his time, he's going to have spent more time racing on the mediums than instead the hards. So unless he's the tyre whisperer, as we have a puncture for Cows! Wow, if they didn't need to go into the pits, they certainly do now. Alfie's tyre's still managing. He's going to go for an extra lap. Cows finds himself on the gravel, waiting for a safe point to rejoin the track. Yeah, just about gets away with it. And he will have to go into the pits. Well, just as we were talking about changing tyres, Cows is definitely changing tyres. He must have hit the wall or something to get damaged like that, because we've got Zuna out here on the same old age tyres on the mediums, and he's still going. Nico in third, just behind Alfie Edwards 007. It's a really long name. It is a really long name. Not the longest name we've had. We've had some crazy names. Zeno with a 3-second penalty. We've had some crazy long names in the LBL throughout the years. But yeah, for those wondering, we do have a 12-week calendar. Next week we are at Catalonia, of course. The first week last week was at Silverstone. Then to finish out the first month it is Spa. And then round 5 and 6 will be Monza and Melbourne, respectively. And then round 7, we have Madrid. Madrid for the first time making its way to the calendar. So, of course, we had to include it. Round 8 is Abu Dhabi, a fan favourite. And then we did have Monaco, but we swapped it out for Budapest. And then our final triple header is Zandvoort, Singapore, and then we will conclude this championship at the OG ending, Interlagos, which I'm very excited for. 10 more races after this one, all to come. So much action, so much drama, biblical racing to unfold, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the journey. I can't wait. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic season. It already is a fantastic season. It's shaping up to be a competitive season as well, as we find Fency in a world of his own. He's in La La Land. Nico P2. Grimes has got back up to 3rd, having spun contact. We're not quite sure. We didn't see earlier on in the race. And then it's Alo P4. Fantastic improvement from himself. Nico going fastest. Of course, within this season, the fastest lap of the race does include an extra point. So people want to be going for the fastest laps. You may even find somebody. You may even find somebody at the end of the race realising they're not going to get anything better, going for it. So they might do. As Deasy is finding himself up into 13th. This is a brilliant drive from Mr. Deasy himself. Scott fresh on his heels though. Chunks managing to get the overtake done before the first corner on Vixo. We'll spend a bit of time on board with Vixo. Didn't have the greatest of qualies, but he's certainly still going. He's persevering. I would say biggest winners and biggest losers of today, you've got to look at the likes of Alo, Driv, Zenko, again outperforming his qualifying, and then Deasy as well, holding it down in 13th, absolutely smashing it. And then you'd say like the biggest losers of the race, Hamish, again, not sure what happened to him, but in quality day he's now finding himself 17th. But again, so much to play for when you've got 8 laps left and points are in 15th. And who knows what could happen? Someone could bin it at a safety car. You never know. And definitely, I would say Kegis has lost out, unfortunately. He left before the session started, was never able to get going. Very unfortunate, but these things happen. Hamish on his 19th tour around Suzuka. At this point, when you've got nothing to really fight for, you're sort of hoping something unfolds up ahead. So you just sort of get into a groove, you do your own thing, lap by lap, and sort of pray for a safety car, pray that the group gets bunched up together. Switzerland, you can go for it, maybe even dive into the pits depending on the lap, get some set of softs on, and absolutely throw a Hail Mary. But yeah, Hamish closing down on Vixo, with Kurisin not that far behind him in the Haas. As it stands, there'll be no points scored for Haas today. And Cam, last of the real racers, in 19th. But up front, we have Fency with an 8-second lead over Nico in P2. Grimes, who started this race on pole, he's down to 3rd. I don't think it's been his race. I don't think he's showing his pure pace. Oh, a poet, and I didn't even know it. Got the rhyming slang out today. Allo himself into 4th, improving by 6 positions so far as we start the 21st lap of this race. And Alfie, our darling, our sweetheart, we've not seen much of him today. Yellow flag sector 2. I'm waiting for a safety car to appear. Not quite. It was just a minor yellow flag. Alfie in 5th. Thinks about going the long way around Allo. Allo places his car just good enough to sort of warn off any thoughts about doing it around the outside. There will be no trailer park girls on this lap. Zuna finally comes into the pits. He had to have gone on the softs. He has gone on the softs. So maybe Zuna, still in the points, fancies himself the fastest lap. Let's stay on board with him for a little while. This is not really a whole great deal going. You've got Alfie in 5th with Allo in 4th. They've got a bit of a scrap going on. Matter of fact, we will watch them just for now, and then we'll go back to Zuna. So I believe Zuna has pitted for that fastest lap. Ooh, Alfie, got to be a warning there for track limits. And he gets up the outside of Allo, managing to get the move done. And I think that's the ghost of Kegis just ahead there. Yes, indeed. Allo got back in front of Alfie. Yellow flag in sector 2 again. There is a car going very slowly. I'm enjoying this battle. It's quite tame, but it is back and forth. Let's see if Alfie thinks about doing anything down the back straight. He fancies it. He gets alongside Allo. He gets the move provisionally done. Allo will try and hang it around the outside. He doesn't have the pace to be there. Concedes the position to Alfie. However, Allo will have bite back with boost mode. Who has more in the tank? Allo slowly creeping in on Alfie. He goes up the inside. Alfie gives him the space. They're side by side. Allo, once again, this is some beautiful racing between these two. Absolutely fantastic racing. As we're on board with Zunas, we have a DNF in sector 3. Zeno, our first DNF of the session. Victor picking up a 3-second penalty. Azuna says the fastest lap of the race. Zeno, I'm surprised we haven't had a safety car from this. Zeno retired in the pits, unfortunate for himself. I think for a moment for the front runners this was sort of panic stations, as Fency, who has over a 10-second lead, that would have been a worst case scenario for him. He's got 3 laps. Alfie with a time penalty, that's so unfortunate considering the battle him and Allo have been having. Grimes 2.3 seconds behind Nico. The gap was around 4.8 and he has closed it down. He's halved it. He's got 3 laps to be able to do something. 3.5. If he wants P2 on his return to the LBL. I said he was going to place high. I think he knows though from his standards he has underperformed. He did get pole, but even then his pole position wasn't that great. He lost a lot of time in the first sector and it was still good enough for P1, which amazed me. There was going to be a battle between Grimes and Fency, however it just couldn't get going. There was an issue. I'm not sure if Grimes span or was touched or what. However, we are here with Grimes running in 3rd, as Fency will start the 25th lap of this race. We have 3 laps left of the Suzuka Grand Prix, round 2 of the LBL. The return, the resurrection, they said it couldn't happen, they said it wouldn't be done. This is living proof, it is so back, we are so back. And we're not stopping this time, we're only going to get bigger and better every time. Of course as well, if you are a fan of league racing and are wanting to get involved with the action, you can join the Discord server, which will be in the description. There's a Discord server to the LBL Discord. There's a link to the LBL Discord, and there's also a link to my main Discord server as well. You're more than welcome to join both. If you're a fan of just league racing, of course you have the LBL one there, just to get involved. If you also want to become part of the community, you can join the other one as well. The option is completely there, completely for you to make. Or if you're just more of an avid viewer of this, then stay tuned, because this YouTube channel will be getting active once again. I hadn't posted for about 3.5, 4 years, so just over 2 laps left. There's Grimes. He's getting closer and closer to Nico. I think Nico's tyres might be starting to fade on him. The gap is 1.2. Vixo with a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. It's gone from bad for worse to worse for him. I must say, just briefly, let me touch up on Hamish and a fantastic recovery drive in 13th. With a couple of positions in front of him, still possible as well. This will be a fantastic recovery for himself. Ooh. Hamish wouldn't have been able to make the corner, so he had to slow down, slam the brakes on. He does lose momentum. as Fency will be making his approach down towards 130R. Let's get on board with him. As he'll come around the chicane. To start his final lap of the race right now. How's your steel? How's your nerves? You got one lap, you got 10 seconds of a gap, you can coast it. Are you going to do it in style, or are the nerves going to get the better of you? Don't spin now. This will be a sensational drive for Fency after what happened last week. Very unfortunate for himself. As Grimes picks up a 3-second time penalty, just as it was starting to look good between himself and Nico. Look at those gaps there. I think there was a couple of laps too shy, and now a 3-second time penalty for Paul Grimes. Yellow flag sector 1. Cam Dog with a penalty. Hamish is up into 12th. Let's stay on board with Fency as he comes out spoon curve for the last time on the back stretch. Giving it all the beans down to 130R. He was upset last week. He said he wouldn't be able to do it. I said as long as he locks in. He has a cold, for crying out loud. My man, Fency, is about to cross the line. He gives us a little dance. And Fency takes the race win at Suzuka. GG's. What an absolutely fantastic race from himself. Grimes just get the move done on Nico, but Nico comes back at him to the line. Nico P2, Grimes third. He would have finished third anyway with that penalty. Allo on the exit, Alfie just behind him. I don't know if they both have the same penalties. It will stay fourth for Allo, fifth for Alfie. Our darling, our sweetheart. A perfect points haul for the McLaren. The constructors' leaders have smashed it again today. Drift P6. In store, a lovely finish in 7th. Our championship leader, Zenko, improves by 6 positions, will come home in 8th, with Alfie just behind him in 9th. Cal's approaching the finish line. He's got a bit of a dance. He'll come home to take 10th. Zuna finishing in 11th. Will pick up an extra point for the fastest lap. I believe he still got it. Hamish, fantastic recovery drive. It's P12. Curris in 13th. Scott 14th. Chunks 15th. DZ just finishing outside the points. Very unfortunate for DZ. Cam, he will be the last person to cross this line. Only one DNF. Cam 17th. Vixo 18th. Kegis 19th. And Zeno with the retirement in 20th. That's a fantastic race. That is a biblical ending as well there. That was starting to look really juicy there towards the end. I mean, Fency was gone. I didn't really keep much tabs on him because he was gone the whole race. Absolutely fantastic racing there from Fency, start to finish. And yeah, there's not really much more to say about himself. Zuna did pick up the fastest lap. Nico 12 seconds behind him. Wow. Grimes started on pole, dropped to around 9th, got back up to 3rd. Fantastic racing there from all the boys. Wow. A great ending to the race. It was kind of quiet during the middle section of the race. There wasn't really much going on. And then I thought there might have been a late safety car with Zeno's retirement, but there wasn't. And I think this might be an LBL record. Is this the first ever race where there's not been a safety car? I genuinely think no safety car, no VSC. Mental. But anyway, that does conclude round 2 of the LBL. Thank you all so much for watching. onwards and upwards to round 3. Next week we will be back. Catalonia. We're going to run it all back yet again. But yeah, until next time, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, viva la LBL.